And call the January 15th, 2026 meeting of the Muncie Redevelopment Commission to order. We'll go ahead and start with roll call. Mr. Bishop?
Here.
Mr. Miller, I am here. Mr. Probilla?
Here.
Mr. Rawlings?
Here.
And Ms. Wagley?
Here.
And Mr. Lowe? Here. Welcome. Thank you. We'll move forward and reorganize for the year with the election of officers to preside over the commission. Do we have any motions or discussion?
Yes, I would make a motion to repeat the officers next for 2026 from 2025.
Okay. We do have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Sure.
Mr. Probilla?
Yeah, well, Isaac Miller as president, Zane Bishop as vice president, and Steve Probilla as secretary.
Okay. Mr. Probilla, you're excited to serve as secretary again, it sounds like.
Yes.
From down there. Okay. All right. Any other discussion? Seeing none. Mr. Bishop?
Yes.
Mr. Miller, yes. Mr. Probilla?
Yes.
Mr. Rawlings?
Yes.
And Ms. Wagley?
Yes.
Wonderful. We'll move forward and take a look at the agenda. You should have that before you today. I don't know if there are any amendments or suggestions for that. If not, I will take a motion as well.
Second motion. Motion to approve.
Okay, so motion
Oh,
to approve.
sorry.
Are you
Yes.
seconding his
Yes,
motion
I'll
now?
second his motion.
Great, that's fine. We'll go ahead with roll. Mr. Bishop?
Yes.
Mr. Miller, yes. Mr. Probilla?
Yes.
Mr. Rawlings?
Yes.
And Ms. Wagley?
Yes.
Wonderful. The ethics training, conflict of interest statement, you all were emailed those by Mr. Howe. You can fill those out via phone or your laptop or whatever you prefer and resubmit those. And then there is a Zoom video that we're supposed to watch as well. Mr. Howe, I don't know if you have anything else on that.
That's, yeah, ethics training. I think you can submit the ethics, the conflict of interest disclosure online as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, just wanted to make sure that, try to get that done first of the year, so it's done and
Sure. Okay, great. All right, we'll move forward with the approval of the previous meeting memoranda. You all should have a copy of that. If you want to take a look, don't know if there's any suggestions, comments, or I'll take a motion.
Approve the minutes as submitted,
Second.
memoranda.
Okay, we do have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Seeing none. Mr. Bishop?
Yes.
Mr. Miller, yes. Mr. Probilla?
Yes.
Mr. Rawlings?
Yes.
And Ms. Wagley?
Yes.
Wonderful. Mr. Wright, we'll move forward with the claims today, please. You all should have copies of those as well.
Good morning. Sent out the claims actually yesterday, a little bit before noon. Just really, I'm sure everybody noticed the majority of the claims and dollars were bond payments, which basically took up everything. So with that, I'll just open it up to any questions you might have.
Any questions or comments on the claims today?
Seth, being a new member, I assume you did get the email on the.
Yes,
claims.
I got the email.
Okay.
Okay. If there are no questions or comments, I will take a motion.
Motion to approve.
Okay. There is a motion. Do I have a second on the claims?
Second.
Thank you. All right. Mr. Bishop?
Yes.
Mr. Miller, yes. Mr. Probilla?
Yes.
Mr. Rawlings?
Yes.
And Ms. Wagley?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Craig. Mr. Howell, move forward with your update from the city.
okay. Let me start by handing out the financial condition. This has been our practice in the past. We'll just hand it out. We don't go over it. It's just for your information. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So in the way of updates, get to my notes here. First, let's talk about the point. We've talked about it for a while now, but on the issue of the gateway,
a lot of the gateway's done. The fabrication of the sign is near completion, and my understanding is it should be put in place within the next couple weeks. Now, I would assume, like many of the projects that we work on, weather-related, those kind of things, but we should be nearing that. As it relates to the multi-use building we've been talking about, we continue to evaluate development proposals that align with the interests and terms identified by the proposed anchor tenant. At present, we are talking to 3 developers that are actively reviewing the project, and we actually have engaged an additional prospective anchor tenant. It's been a bit of a waltz back and forth about how to get this project moving, and so we have pretty much opened the gates to talk to other anchors if we need to get it to move forward. Advancing the project is a top priority for us. Obviously, it's a great location. It certainly provides the housing that we need, but we just need to make sure the project, that we finally get the proposal that makes the most sense for everybody.
Jeff, when you
yes.
say anchor tenant, what kind of scope are you looking at? Like retail, restaurant?
Retail.
Okay.
There was initially retail and a restaurant. I'm not sure, a couple of developers don't see a restaurant there, but retail, and then whether it might be, it might be a coffee shop as well, but it's retail at this
Got it.
point. Yeah.
Is the commercial space at phase 1 still available?
At phase 1.
Wasn't
Of
it-
the
Tell me what
loft.
you mean by that. Of the lofts?
Yeah.
It is still available.
And that's
thank you.
restaurant space, isn't it?
Well,
Or
it could be
that's
used for
right.
multiple uses, but
Okay.
yeah, it could accommodate a restaurant. We've actually talked to folks about a restaurant there, but it just hasn't worked out yet.
Thank you.
Yep, yeah. So if we can get this project put together, and we will get it put together, that and with the other projects that are happening in the near west end here, we're looking at probably an additional 120 households. You get 34, and then you've got somewhere between 50 and 70 maybe across the street, and then with some other development that we know is going to happen in that area. So about 120 new households. We believe, and we will continue to look at housing in the downtown area. These projects strengthen the commerce downtown, and which we think contributes to overall vitality of the downtown. That certainly would give us better opportunity to recruit the next hotel, which we are hoping to do, and we believe that will then help put the convention center on a pathway to larger and more frequent events, which obviously will add to tourism and tourism dollars for us. So that's kind of the intent behind this project and others. The Muncie Mall. The Muncie Mall development plan continues to evolve as prospective tenants pursue other locations. That's evolution. There are some folks that are leaving. On the surface, that sounds bad. Some of them are staying in the market, but in reality, it's kind of one of those things that it does create opportunity to reimagine that space differently if you don't have, if you empty it, essentially, you more of a blank slate to work from. So we think there's some opportunities coming there. The environmental remediation and interior demolition are nearing completion. I did talk to them. The outside demolition is delayed and likely will be delayed for a little while longer. Well, I don't fully understand it. Here's how I would describe what was described to me. The water supply and pump that support or provide water to the sprinkler systems in the mall, all on the south side of J.C. Penney's.
Oh.
And you have to have water pressure, and it supplies water to everything in the mall, including the buyer's market. So engineering is a little more complicated because they have to be able to maintain the water system or the sprinkler system while or before demoing the pennies. Likewise, the gas line that supplies the mall is on the south side, or on the north side of the Sears building.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, right.
so again, more engineering about supplying gas through the mall when you take down the Sears building. So I think as they're working through that, how to get that done and at what cost to get that done, there's going to be a bit of a delay. But they've assured us the plans to take off those two parts of the building haven't changed. It's just a matter of how you get there. So,
Have they given you a timeline or anything on that?
beg pardon?
Have they given you a timeline or anything on that?
Well, we thought demo would start by the end of December, but like I say, we just talked to them, and I don't think they know yet. The people we talked to are not the engineers, so that I think they're still waiting to hear back from the engineers about how to get it done and what needs to be done to get it done. But the demo person, they do have lined up. He's on pause until they're ready to go.
Does their, because we're obviously reimbursing them for the demo work that they're going to be doing.
Correct.
So does the movement or re-engineering of those items, the water and the gas lines, does that, you understand what I'm saying? Does that fall under our reimbursement? Like, are we able to, I guess either way, it's 6 of one, half dozen of another, but
Right.
I don't know if they're open to us, like, reallocating the reimbursement for that movement of those items versus the demo of the building. I don't know what would be more expensive, truthfully, for them.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know if that's been
we
a
have a
conversation.
fixed number. I don't know really that it should matter to us.
Okay.
If they seek reimbursement, I guess we'll make the decision at that time.
And I think our discussions with them was that they intend to come back to us anyway for more items down the road if all this works. So we could see that come back too.
Yeah, right. So, and then updates on some of the things related to the new subdivisions. D.R. Horton was approved for the subdivision on the northwest side. Again, that development is going to include 126 single-family homes consisting of both ranch and two-story designs ranging from 1,300 to 2,600 square feet. Expected home prices are in the $300,000 to $350,000 range. Construction is anticipated to begin in late summer. Mr. Lowe and I were just talking. They have started the survey and do some of the work out there, so we will see that happen. Of course, as we've talked before, we do take a lot of time considering the math of these projects. That property, when complete, those homes should generate at the 1% tax rate on homesteads, should produce about $400,000 a year in annual taxes. There are some annual taxes on it now, but it's pretty incremental because it's vacant, so it'll be a substantial increase. Nearly 400 will be new.
Jeff, I meant to ask you this earlier. I apologize. MRC doesn't have any formal agreement with that project at this time, correct? Okay.
Correct. Yep.
Just curious.
Yep. We work with them as far as
Sure.
getting it done, but yes, you're right. We are also working to finalize terms on another residential development by the same builder, D.R. Horton. And D.R. Horton is also, for those who don't know, also are the ones who did the store properties. And it would be on the east side, and the project expected to be about 200 to 250 homes. And we're going to meet with them fairly soon, but we think it'll range from kind of first-time home buyer stuff and then a spectrum of homes in that area. And again, we're looking at probably generating somewhere in the $500,000 to $600,000 in annual taxes. We're hopeful that that level of residential growth out there, and we're also looking at some other east side stuff, will help us as we continue to look at opportunities for groceries and retailers on the east side. And there's a bit of food desert out there, and hopefully we can expand that. But we think we need more critical mass about people living out there.
Is that the Sportsplex project or a
Yes,
separate?
it
Okay,
is.
thank you.
It is, yep.
Hey Jeff, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Just to go backwards, the Jackson Morrison, that D.R. Horton project, how many homes is that again? Can you remind me?
126.
126. Thank you. Thank you.
the Riggin Road development, which is what we refer to as the premier housing. We are moving forward on that. We have given them a draft economic development agreement that I framed and Mr. Freeman put together. So they're reviewing that. Again, that's 42 homes and the $450,000 to $500,000 range. We are hopeful that project, as the store project did, would be attract current commuters that come into town to work that go home and pay income tax and property taxes in another county. We'll locate there and we'll capture some new residents there. And then we've been in discussions with a group about doing some other projects on the east side, primarily in the Whiteley area. I received an email from the developer end of last week. We talked on the phone. We're working through some of that, but we're running into what we've all talked about before is the construction cost, the value, or revenue capacity of those properties. So the cost to construct them, and it just doesn't have they don't have the value or the ability to earn income. So we're working through some of that with them, and we may look to see if we can figure out how to make that work, because we'd like to have some additional housing in that area. And again, the support's kind of east side focus. So we'll continue to work on them, work with them, and see if we can find something that works. And we're talking about a couple other sites. One required quite a bit of infrastructure. We may be able to find some sites that we talked a little bit about some infill stuff as well, but infill which is great. We like that. We've done a number of those infill properties. But for somebody wanting to do multiple homes, if they can do it in a concentrated area, it's just much more efficient and logistically makes more sense economically as a result. So we'll continue to work with them. So that's really all I have in the way of updates.
Jeff, what's the current status of Store?
Well, Store has, I believe it's 11 lots that were in the flood zone. They are not now. It's been mitigated.
Okay.
But the federal shutdown, all this stuff has delayed them getting the LOMAR. I can't think of what the acronym stands for, but the LOMAR, which basically takes them out of the flood zone. They don't want to build into them until they get that.
Sure.
We've communicated with elected officials. They've communicated. Hopefully we're getting close to be able to get that done. But gives me an opportunity to say, D.R. Horton built that. We worried about housing, our need for housing. What I've learned over the last few years is what we thought appears to be right is the need. D.R. Horton is the largest home builder in the country. I think in 2024, I think they built and sold $35 billion worth of homes. They want to be here. They know we need homes. They think there's demand here. They bought the store lots with the expectation that they would probably build about 7 a year, so 34 homes.
Exceeded that.
They sold all of them within about 6 months.
That was going to be a question. Are those last 11 lots, have those all sold as well?
I don't believe they've even put them for sale yet.
Okay.
So what they have done, but they said they could have sold the whole thing.
Yeah.
They just, they don't want to take commitments on that until
Sure, that makes sense.
until that LOMAR's done. So
Is there a way to try to get rough figures on the 22 homes that have been built to see if they did attract commuters, or if they?
Actually, the mayor's talked to a lot of those homeowners, and several of them early on were new folks moving into town that were already working here. I don't know exactly what the percentages were, and I'm not sure if he's talked to everybody, but he's talked to a number of them initially. And I think, it's 7 or 8, I think, at that time when he and I last talked about that, which has been a little while. But, I mean, that's a nice start for us, especially when you consider the household income of, that those homes would require. So.
Do we know the average price of the current homes sold?
Well, they were supposed to sell, I think, between 3 and 350, but I don't know what the average is. Some of them were built just as planned. Some of them added a second,
Yeah.
added here and added there. So I don't know what they sold for. All we sold was the lots. So, yeah. So in the way of other business,
Good.
yes.
Good.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay. So I have a couple of funding requests. So consistent with what we've done in the past, I think maybe every year since I've been involved with the commission, I'm requesting an allocation of about $250,000 from the various TIF funds to support additional street paving in these development areas. We get a little more road paved with some help. The TIF money has to be spent in those areas. I've talked to the city engineer and the public works and the street department, all kind of under the same hat, but they will apply our funds to streets in those areas. So I'd like to be able to do that if we can. And then I don't know if we want to do these one at a time. The other thing was we talked last year about Indiana stamping property. And there was some confusion. I was confused. I think the person who approached me initially about it was confused, which confused me. The Indiana stamping property was not our property. It had its own TIF, but it ended up wasn't in our name. So we worked on it thinking it was, and then we figured out that it belonged to another holding company that was established for it. We did get that property sold. In that sale, the debt was eliminated. That was about $400,000. But the TIF still has about $17,500 in it. Of course, there's nothing to spend it on because we don't have the property anymore. So since we stepped away from the project, once we figured out it wasn't ours, and the city took care of the closing costs and stuff on getting it sold, I was requesting that we turn the $17,500 over to the city for the general fund, just to support the public service to the citizens. Because like I say, it really, we can't invest it in that TIF anyway, because the TIF doesn't, it won't exist anymore. The property's not ours.
That,
So those are the two things I have for funding.
why don't we talk about the streets funding first? We can come back to Indiana stamping. Can you give me just real quick the details of the street funding one more time, Jeff?
Yeah,
Just
it's
for our discussion.
$250,000. We would allocate money out of the respective TIFs, and the money, the streets that would be paved would be within the TIFs that those funds were drawn from. And we have the Delaware Dynamics TIF, we have the Magix and Central TIFs. I think those are the primarily TIFs that would be used
And we do that every year.
every year.
Pretty much.
We've done it
Yeah,
every year.
for as long as I can remember.
Yeah. Well, last year we did it. We came in. We had, I think, $800,000 in funding requests. We had taken in $1.4 million
Yeah.
from a default on a EDA. 400 of that was my error because I thought we had to pay off that bond at Indiana Stamping. So we only ended up spending 400 of the $1.4 million that we'd taken in.
Okay.
But we've done this every year.
Has the street department said like any examples of streets that would get paved with that money, or is it just on there?
Yeah. You have let's see. Well, Walnut Street. You would have Adams and Liberty.
Awesome.
You don't have to list them all off,
Yeah.
Jeff, if you don't want to.
I'll make the motion that we approve the $250,000 to the Public Works Department for paving in the TIFs.
You have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion? Seeing none. Mr. Bishop,
Yes.
Mr. Miller, yes. Mr. Pravilla,
Yes.
Mr. Rawlings.
Yes.
And Ms. Wagley.
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, back to Indiana stamping. Sorry. So that TIF that had 17.5 in it, is that TIF gonna be dissolved or like taken away now? Because there's
It
no.
don't exist anymore.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. That was my only question. Anything else on that one? Or I can take a motion if you guys have any other.
Just had a, so what was the setup of the entity that owned the building and the property?
What was the setup?
Like, was it private? Was it like another public organization?
Public.
Okay.
I can't remember what the name of it was, but, Muncie, Delaware County, something.
So it was just a random body and, okay.
Yeah, and that was I think that's where the confusion came, because I think everybody assumed it was MRC. When I was approached by it, they said it's MRC. I believed them, and we started working on it, which is fine. I work on things all the time that aren't MRC, but then we found out that it wasn't our expense, it wasn't our.
But it
property,
wasn't,
so,
it wasn't MRC TIF, controlled TIF, or is, I guess?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you say we sold the building, you're referring to the other, like that
Yes.
specific? Okay.
Yeah, not us, sorry. Wasn't us
Okay.
that sold it, yes.
That's all we had.
I think so.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of the confusion came in. I can't remember the name of the entity right now, but it's very.
Muncie Community Development Corporation?
Yeah, it's like a
Something
name
like
that
that,
you.
Yeah.
I think we've
We
discussed
thought it
this
was-
even when you were on the commission.
Right.
And we didn't have answers then, so it's
Yeah.
been a long time
Right.
Yeah.
coming,
Been a long
so.
time.
What's the current use of the building?
Excuse me.
I don't know. They bought it. We thought they were going to resell it, but I don't know.
I'll take a motion to approve or deny his request, unless there's other discussion.
Moved.
So moved?
So moved.
To do what?
Oh, to put the 17.5 over into
Just making sure.
the edit, I assume, is where it'll go, into edit.
General fund.
General fund.
Okay.
Okay, there's a motion. Do I have a second?
I second the motion.
Okay. It's all Shereen and Steve today. All right, Mr. Bishop.
Yes.
Mr. Miller, yes. Mr. Pravilla.
Yes.
Mr. Rawlings.
Yes.
And Ms. Wagley.
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, Jeff, let's move forward with the, ECI-CDC
Yeah.
is what I'm calling it.
So as
Another acronym.
many of you know, maybe not all of you, but many of you know, we there is a community development corporation. Let me back up. So we used the Delaware Advancement Corporation as a community development corporation to hold properties for us. Just helps in the transition of properties, acquisition and sale. The DAC, which also runs the convention center, were connected to the chamber, however that connection was. They have kind of parted ways a couple of years ago, and the Greater Muncie Economic Development Corporation was established as a community development corporation for us to use instead of DAC. DAC was going to be focused pretty much solely on the running of the convention center. I will tell you that I don't think that has particularly gone smoothly, and we've suffered some delays in getting some things done. We've suffered, I think, significant delays in getting responses to things, and I have asked, and the mayor has agreed, because the city will be involved in this as well, that we are going to transition to use the East Central Indiana Community Development Corporation instead. Same function, same agreement that we have. Mr. Freeman wrote the agreement, which is framed off the other agreement. We're just going to use a different entity for the same purposes in the same way, and that's simply just because we have been. It's been expressed to us that we can use it more effectively.
Sure.
So that's what we want to do. It doesn't change anything for us. pretty much changes things for me. My emails get directed to somebody else,
Yeah.
and responses come from somebody else.
Okay.
Is this an organization that currently exists?
Yes, yes, and they do work with the Delaware County redevelopment as well. And the city is a member of that organization. The city, not the MRC, but the city provides support for that organization to do its work.
We're essentially just transitioning from one holding company to another for properties, all it is, just to get a little bit better response time and maybe make some processes more efficient, sounds like, so.
Correct.
Just fair.
So what's the structure of that CDC? Like, is it each of the taxing entities have one representative, or?
What's the board?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. No, for sure. I mean, the mayor sits on it.
Okay.
I think but I don't know who else. I don't know who else is on it.
I don't remember who's on their board. I mean, who's their leadership again?
Bill Walters.
Bill Walters, and there's someone else too. I don't remember her name.
Batters.
Michelle Batters. Yes, I apologize. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and they have I would say a strong reputation of doing work that's similar to this.
do-
Good work.
they do local
Yeah.
and regional economic development as well.
Sure.
Yeah, and we've worked with them on some, primarily Michelle, on some visits. I've met with some foreign companies alongside her to
Yeah.
talk about Muncie and stuff, so,
Sure.
yeah.
Would the properties that are currently held by the EDC transfer?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. EDC meaning
The
Greater Muncie?
the new DAC, yeah.
GMed,
Yeah, yeah, they'll transfer.
So
Yep,
they
and then we would use them going forward.
And they've signed off or verbally agreed to that.
No, we've got an agreement, established with the new one, and I've asked Mr. Freeman to put together a notification to them that we want them to transfer those properties. So, in theory, they hold these properties for us, so they should just do it.
Yeah. So today you're just looking for us to take action to approve you to transition to this other
Right.
holding company, is all it is.
Correct.
Okay. Any other discussion today? Seeing none, I'll take a motion if there is one.
I'll make oh, go ahead.
Let's
I motion to approve the transition to East Central Indiana Community Development Corporation.
Okay. Do I have a second? I'll second it. I'll finally jump in and take the second on that one. Mr. Bishop.
Yes.
Mr. Miller, yes. Mr. Probilla.
Yes.
Mr. Rawlings.
Yes.
And Ms. Wagley.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Jeff.
That is all I have, I think.
Wonderful. Mr. Bishop, do you have anything on the facade grant program for us today?
We have no applications for approval. We've got 4 or so applications on the table, awaiting additional responses on additional information. We have been working with the city IT department to update the online application to include everything that is required of applicants. So hopefully that will lead to things being a little more streamlined and applicants providing everything up front. You know, there's only one spot, or there was only one spot for quotes, but we require 2. And a lot of the fields weren't required, so a lot of stuff got skipped. So hopefully that should streamline things. And then, yeah, working on, Mr. Freeman sent the legal descriptions for the applications that have been approved. So we'll be putting together the agreements to get those signed as well.
Mr. Bishop, on those 4, this might be a question for Jeff or Ben even. Were those 4 applicants from last year? Because I knew last year you had a few that you were waiting on stuff to get back to you guys.
I think it was 2 and 2. I think there were 2 carried over from last year and 2
Okay.
new ones that we needed more information on because they were on the old
Okay.
application.
So on the 2 that have carried over from last year, obviously their funding would be conditional on our approval this year, correct? So then they get, because like they can't get obviously funding from last year because that's done.
Anything that was approved last year would be coming out of last year's funding. And
Right.
anything new
Okay.
that you approved this year will come out of this year's funding.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Thank you.
So the application date will not.
Doesn't matter.
Carrier, it'll be the approval.
I didn't want someone to have to go back and reapply in the new year and
Right.
then have to do everything over again if we're waiting on stuff. Okay, great. Do you have a timeline on when at least those two from last year will send in things at all or anything like that?
No, I mean, it's up to the applicants. I think we kind of indicated that if we don't get any response by our next committee meeting, that we're ready just to deny them, because we've been
Okay.
asking them for a while.
Yeah.
And move on to, more responsive applicants.
Yeah. Okay, great. I was wondering if there was a fall-off date or not.
I will say, this committee has been working very hard. Thank
Yeah.
you for that. I mean, I see them come in and out in all their meetings. But I'll also let you know that the word of this grant is getting around. Just in the last week or two, the mayor has met with 2 different neighborhood associations to talk about it. And then a business group had him, I think it was maybe Monday this week, I don't know. Monday, Tuesday, he went for coffee with a group that's Southside businesses that near downtown Southside businesses.
Yeah.
So to talk about what the facade grant is and to apply. So hopefully you'll be getting some more applications. But thank you guys for the committee for working as hard as they are.
Good stuff.
How much money do we have budgeted towards this?
$250 per year, 250K,
150.
150K.
150, yeah, 150 a year. Actually, the mayor and I were out looking at properties, and one of the neighbors in the area had contacted the mayor about this. So we stopped. I told him where the link was, and then I got notification that he'd had an application by the end of that day.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's been a few months now, but I went to the Muncie Action Plan. Their downtown group was asking about it months ago before we even had it off the ground, and they were very excited. I mean, it's really picked up steam.
Yeah.
And it's cool because we take action. It feels like it's almost instant. It's been very responsive, so that's exciting. Okay, Mr. Howe, do you have any property transfers today?
We do not.
Okay. Mr. Gullion from the Muncie Land Bank, go ahead, please.
Thank you. Zach Gullion with the Muncie Land Bank. Nate's in Columbia, so I'm going to give the update. We are going to vote on the sale of 2 properties this month. They're going to be the final 2 properties that we have available to the public, so we're kind of been cleared out. We met with the George and Francis Ball Foundation yesterday just to talk about some potential funding partnerships, what that could look like moving forward. We have sought a quote to do some type of documentation of the Old West End before the project gets off the ground this spring, just so we can have some befores and afters of the change, because it's going to be, I mean, as you know, a very significant change to the area. We sold 2 properties just last week, marking the 100th property that the land bank has sold out of our name. 2123 South Jefferson was one of them, which is a rather large house that we held for over 3 years. And then 509 West Adams was a house that had cycled through the tax sale for multiple years. So that's great. 2 rehabs on properties that we recently sold, 913 West Kilgore and 2523 South Meeker. Those are both underway. There's been significant progress that's taken place, which is always great to see. And then we also were awarded some tax deeds from the county, and 4 of those tax deeds were just finished, and we're just waiting on the final transfer. First Friday, January, there was no meeting. February, we're trying to find a speaker. We have some ideas in the pipeline. And then partnership update, we are partnering with 2 different studios out of the College of Architecture and Planning at Ball State this semester. One, Nate is co-teaching a studio with Urban Planning Studio, where they're going to be doing on-the-ground data collection in the Whiteley and Riverside Normal City neighborhoods. And then we're also partnering with the third-year architecture studio, doing some strategic work, visioning work for some sites in the Old West End that we hold, trying to focus on developing amenities that would support the new homeowners in the area. And then finally, there's some updates on land bank legislation. So House Bill 1411 is a proposed bill to reduce the redemption period for purchase tax certificates by land banks from 1 year to 6 months. So right now, if we go ourselves to purchase a tax certificate, it's no different than anyone else going to purchase that tax certificate. And if we were to be awarded a tax certificate from the county, it would drop from 6 months to 3 months. But yeah, that's all I have today. Any questions? Any of that?
Questions for Zach today? I don't think so.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Steve, did you have a question? I'm sorry.
No,
Okay.
I just said thank you.
Okay. All right, we'll move forward with public comment if there is any. Have 2 minutes each. Steve, you want to keep time? If you don't mind. Thank you.
Rick Yenser, newsman and author. Sitting here, it appears that you're bent on still building housing in 2026. I would tend to agree that you can grow the tax base that way, but a better way to grow the economy is with jobs, meaning business and industry. Now, I heard from the county last week that you didn't want to invest in whatever this manufacturing outfit is over here on council that's bringing in machines that will probably, I think he said about $1 million, $1.5 million in taxes once they get up and running, doing parts. And I remember not that long ago, a lot of the Muncie industry, like Muncie Power Products, Mercy, they all went out by the interstate, whether it was because of taxes here or logistics there. I would hope that this group does a little bit more in creating jobs because, again, with some of the housing that you're doing with national or statewide developers, that money's going to them. It doesn't help here. Some of my labor friends noticed too lately that they're using undocumented workers, and that's not cool. I mean, we've got skilled union labor. We got kids at Ivy Tech that can do the same job, but we're not seeing any of that being done either. So I hope here this year that you'll look more into creating jobs instead of building houses, because again, that's where people will come. And again, whether you can get anybody that commutes to the hospital or the university, good luck with that too, because they don't require residency. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment today? See.
I'm going to talk about the company over here that was referenced.
I met with them. We suggested, and I think appropriately so, that before I came to this body, that we would ask them to go to the redevelopment or to the Muncie Industrial Revolving Loan Fund, which we traditionally do, which we've done in this body with employers. So we did ask them to do that. We didn't tell them we wouldn't help them. We told them that was the first door open for them to seek help. And whether they have or haven't, I don't know. But that's how, so I just wanted to make sure we understood what happened in that meeting and what was suggested.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Howe. Okay, seeing no one else, we'll move forward with commissioner comments. First, I want to welcome Mr. Rawlings. Welcome.
Thank you.
Good luck to you this year. Yeah, I think the only other comment I have, I've said this a few times, this body is the Muncie Redevelopment Commission, and if you read state statute about the role of redevelopment commissions, our primary job is really to address blight and abandonment. That's our primary job. And I would argue that we've done that extremely well, and new housing is a part of that strategy. So I would just encourage us to remember what the goal of this body is. I think a lot of people think we are assigned more tasks than we are in state statute. So just reflecting on that this morning. Any other thoughts from other commissioners today?
Just a few things.
Go ahead.
I confirmed that the sidewalk money that the MRC had granted a couple of years ago for downtown was not ever implemented. So I'm working on updating some light inventory of a part of, like, kind of not all of downtown, but kind of a core of downtown, and gonna work with downtown development.
What was that? Was that the money that we gave to downtown development a few years ago for the ADA compliance stuff?
and she was invited here. She's gathering some information and wasn't going to have it before today.
They have a new director
She's
and,
planning on coming
yeah.
tomorrow,
Okay.
because there was a transition of leadership.
Yeah.
A new one that was there for increment, for a short period of time, and then Vicky took back the role. So Vicky is, we've talked as recently as already this week, she's actually planning on coming next meeting to update on kind of what, I mean, anything you do between now and then is fine. I just want you to know that
Yep.
we have talked about it, but she just didn't have all the data she needed to be here today.
And there's another new director as of this week.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know, Zane, how much that was, just off the top of your head?
Remember what
I had it somewhere. I don't think I have it with me. I have the figure somewhere, but yeah, I hope to do a little more work between now and next meeting.
I was just gonna follow up. If you let me know, I'll follow up to
Yeah.
make sure if it's been paid to them or if we still
Yeah,
hold.
for
the
sure.
money.
And then Jeff, I don't know if I know the air park got paved with the MRC funds last year. I don't know if the trail along the air park got touched, but I know it was in pretty poor condition. I don't know if there's anything that we can do or the street department can do to button that up too, now that the streets themselves have been repaved.
Greenway?
There's a
You're talking about
there's a
Cardinal
trail.
Greenway? The Greenway?
No, there's a trail along Air Park Drive or whatever it's called, from Walnut to the Greenway.
Oh, I don't know.
It's also an asphalt surface.
I don't know. I guess I didn't know that was there. I'm on the trail all the time, but and it's fine. The Greenway is, but I didn't know.
I don't think that was a part of that agreement, was it? It wasn't to my knowledge. I thought we were just
I
paying
don't
for
know
the
if it's
paving
ours.
of the
I'll have to
road.
check and see if it's even ours. I'll have to look and see.
I appreciate it. And then it's not a huge deal. I'm curious if there's a little more information you can grab from the stamping plant. It looks like it was transferred for $0. I'm just curious, like, why it was sold. And
Yeah, please.
I know it's not our body, but we obviously had the TIF on it, which
Well,
is still
Ben-
technically open.
Yeah, well, but Ben helped us with that transaction.
So, I mean, just generally speaking, we had to do a lot of digging to try to figure out exactly all of the bonding and the transfers that set that project up, the stamping project, were from several administrations ago. So it took a little bit of time to get to the bottom of it. Essentially what it was an attempt to remediate the environmental, I don't know, damage that had been sustained on that property while also sustaining the private business that was operating there. So effectively a new entity was created that was controlled, I believe, by the city, to take ownership of that property while the environmental cleanup was taking place. And then there were certain triggers in that agreement where the private company could eventually request to purchase it back as long as they had paid all the taxes and done all the bond payments and everything else. Or actually, I think the TIF revenues paid the bond, but then they were the only one paying the taxes, so it was basically a big circular pass-through. All of that was eventually completed, and IDEM issued, a clean grade on the property, so they were able to request to buy it back, and the contract amount that was originally agreed upon was $1.
Got it.
So I don't know what Beacon shows,
That's
but
fine.
we did get a check for $1 that was delivered to my office, and that was what ultimately facilitated the sale. The bonds on which the city was obligated to be paid through TIF revenues were then canceled because the company actually had bought the bonds on the private market, so then they became the owner on both sides, and they ended up canceling them out. So there's no debt associated, there's no public debt associated with that building, and that building is back in private hands and has been cleaned up.
And we don't know what it's being used for.
I have no idea what they're
Okay.
currently, I do know, and this was just from conversations with people on their end, that they were trying to market the building on their end, I think, for an eventual third-party sale. But beyond that, I don't have any knowledge. And I think all of that wrapped up
I think the bond eventually was terminated back, I want to say October, November of '25 was when all of that finally got wrapped up. But I think the actual sale took place in the summer of last year. It's been a minute. But,
Okay, thank you.
but at this point, the city, MRC, no public body, at least affiliated with the city, is involved in that project
For the
anymore.
record, having been sold, it's probably not being operated.
Okay, thank you.
That's all you had. Okay. Anything else from the commissioners today? Okay. Seeing none, we are adjourned till our February meeting. Thank you so much.